Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Guntown Podcast, episode 192. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Alabama's best heating, air, and home repair. I'm looking forward to this conversation. I'm sure we'll all be inspired by his story. Let's chop it up with William Mann. William, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. How you doing?
Glad to hear that, and all is well on my end too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Of course, you to talk about all the great things you got going on with Alabama's best heat, air, and home repair. Before we talk business, let's get to know the man behind the brand. Originally from Montgomery, what was your upbringing like coming up in the Gump?
Of course, I was born and raised here in Montgomery. I grew up on the South Side, Willie Park area, and of course, definitely humble beginning. I went to Brubaker, McKee, Jeff Davis, graduated in 2012, and yeah, no, I've definitely come a long way.
Okay, sounds good, man. Appreciate you for giving us a little bit of your background. So, growing up in Montgomery, so family wise, did you have a good village around you growing up?
Yeah, most definitely. I had several really good friends growing up, and of course, their family was kind of like my family. I was like an honorary member of all my friends' family. So yeah, man, I definitely the community was big.
Okay, absolutely, man. That's what it's about, man. It takes a village. Definitely need that village around you to love on you and praise you when you're doing the right thing and hold you accountable when you're out of line. You know how it go.
Without a doubt.
Yes, sir. So, upon graduating high school from JD, did you go to college, military, or did you go right to work?
I kind of went out right to work, and then I went into trade school. And of course, that's where I learned how to do air conditioning.
That's great, man. And I salute you for going to trade school. It's not heavily publicized these days. A lot of times, they want kids to go to 4-year colleges. But one thing I've always understood about having a trade is you'll always be able to feed yourself with a trade.
Yeah, without a doubt. If you can work with your hands and provide a service that people need, you definitely will never you won't starve.
That's for sure. So, what inspired you to go to trade school versus the traditional 4-year college?
Well, my a good friend of mine, he pulled up on me one day and he was like, "Man, I I've been thinking about going to trade school. I want to go to school for air conditioning, and if we go, it's definitely job security because everybody's got an air condition, houses and business, and of course, once we learn how to do it, we can go out on our own and start our own business." I was like, you know what? That's a good idea, man. I think I'm finna go enroll too, and I did.
Hey, what a friend, man. Hey, shout out to your friend for telling you what he had going on and gave you the inspiration to go to trade school and make it happen, man. That's a great story.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. That's my partner.
Good stuff, good stuff. So let's talk about what you got going on in business. So I'm big into brand names, Williams, and your brand name definitely caught my eye. Alabama's best heating, air, and home repair. What was the inspiration behind that name?
Well, of course, me myself, I've always been very competitive. And, I grew up playing sports, football, basketball, all that good stuff. And so I'm very competitive. And just with anything, I do try to be the best. And so Alabama's best also had a little bit. But I try to be the best. And so I figured that would be a nice name. It'd be a catchy name. And that would kind of let people know what we're striving for here at this.
Okay, sounds good, man. I love it, man. That competitive nature and putting it out there is definitely a catchy brand name, very organic way how you came up with it, and it makes sense how you came up with that name.
Yeah, man, most definitely. Yeah, it was back when I was working for my first boss and coming home at night trying to write it down a list of what tools I need to buy and trying to come up with a business name and just all kinds of stuff. And it's good to see it all come together.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. That's good stuff. So, part of me doing my due diligence, I got a chance to see that you started the business. The business was founded in 2015, and you have been serving the area, Montgomery area, with HVAC and home repair since 2010. So, what was that decision? What was that? Take us back to that time when you made that decision to start working for others and go into business for yourself. What was the aha moment you had that gave you the inspiration to get started with your own business?
Yeah, well, of course, we came. I myself, I came into my first day of school with the idea that I'm trying to gather these skills, take it, hang up my own shingle and earn my own money with my own business. So that was always my outlook on it from day one. And so, at school, I tried to, and then of course, I got a job in the daytime. He also had got a job before I did, and he got me hired on the first job. And it was another just a small town guy, a very small company. And, I would kind of pick his brain a lot about, what should I do? How should I do it? What was the question again?
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries. So yeah, and I should have framed it differently. So basically, what I was asking was take us back to your aha moment when you realized you wanted to transition from the 9 to 5 world to being your own boss. And I think you summed it up. You said pretty much when you started trade school, you knew from day one you wanted to eventually be your own boss.
Exactly, without a doubt, from day one. And as I was working, with my old boss, I would kind of catch calls at night when I got off or on the weekends. And I did that for years until I kind of built up a clientele base to where, I could pay my bills and not and with the money that I'm generating from my own customers instead of having to service his customers.
Okay, and that makes sense, man. That's great that you started to build your clientele as you worked the 9 to 5, and then after hours you were building your clientele. That's what it's about. There's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, honestly, I know being an entrepreneur ain't for everybody, but I'm glad it was for you, and you were willing to step out there and start your own business. It's dope.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely a lot of hard work, a lot of uncertainty, in the beginning, but of course, God willing, everything will turn out.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, and no doubt, absolutely. So, from the time you made the decision to actually start your business, how long did it take you to come up with a name and get the LLC and get all the business stuff situated?
So of course, I was a sole proprietor, basically doing side work for at least 5 years, and then we officially incorporated in 2021. So I did definitely kind of take my time, make sure I had all my ducks in a row, make sure I had our name right, and just make sure I had a nice foundation laid before we incorporated. If it would have been up to me originally, I would have done an LLC, but that would not have been the best decision for us. So I'm kind of glad that I waited. I got a bit wiser, got to rubbing shoulders with people who are a bit more knowledgeable about business and further along the path to success than I was, so that they could kind of like guide me in the right way. And but yeah, we incorporated in 2021.
Okay, sounds good, man. You said something key there, just in terms of locking arms with people who are already successful and had that knowledge, and that takes that takes a bit of awareness, and that takes some humility to say, "Hey, I don't have all the answers, and let me go ask such and such because they can help me." Because a lot of times, William, you know how it is, man. We stubborn, we want to be, we macho, we don't want to ask for help. But I salute you for hey, sticking your hand out and asking for help because the worst somebody can say is no.
Yeah, no, if anybody was to ask me for any type of advice, my first thing would be to find a mentor, without a doubt, 100%. They've been doing this, 20, 30 years longer than you. They can help you avoid all the snares and all the struggles and obstacles that they went through. They can give you the blueprint to skip all that. And man, that's major. It's exponent. Having a mentor, you'll see exponential growth in a very short period of time versus trying to figure it all out yourself. Yeah, no, mentorship is
Yes, sir. And you spot on with that. And that's it's so key. It's so powerful having a mentor because to your point, just having somebody that's been there, done that, and they also see your blind spots, like the places where you may think you're doing the right thing. A mentor step in and say, hey, you might not want to do it that way. Like you were saying, the LLC route, you figured out from being around people and asking questions that that wasn't the best route to go, and you were willing to be patient and get all your paperwork and get everything situated the right way.
definitely, most definitely.
Good stuff, man. So that last portion, audacity, it's one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to put action behind it. But to put it out to the world to be praised or criticized, that's where the audacity comes in my opinion. Who or what gave you that courage, that audacity to put the business out to the world?
Well, I would definitely say I've always had a high tolerance for risk. And so to me, though it was risky, there was never a point where I thought to myself, "Oh, if I should do this." Like I'm a real gung ho person. Get up, get it done. You just go in there, trial and error. You'll figure it out as you go. As you begin to walk, the path will reveal itself. And so I would say, kind of my personality. Like I said, I am very risk tolerant. I'm not scared to put it all on the line. And so, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And if you would please ask me the question one more time, just so I can make sure.
No, no, no worries, man. No worries. And basically, I was just asking you who or what gave you that courage, that audacity to step out there and put your business out to the world. And you answered it pretty much. You just said you've always had a high tolerance for risk. You've always been willing to step in there and give things a try. So you gave yourself that courage, that audacity to put your business out to the world. That's dope.
You know what? But I will say, but I must give her credit. My mentor,
Yes,
she
sir.
did say when I was working for my old boss, she was like, why don't? Because I was like, I was studying for my test and I was doing all this, but I really hadn't made I really hadn't jumped out and just, she was like, why don't you just take the test and see how it goes? Because you got to get your state license before you can officially go out on your own. And and so I was like, I was planning on taking maybe 6 months later. She was like, just go take it, just to give it a shot. I took it, I passed it on the first chance. So I would definitely say, again, with a lot of advice in so many ways, 100% without a doubt. My mentor, she helped me a lot.
That's great, man. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about it taking a village. And we always hear it takes a village from the context of when we're children, but it takes a village at all levels of life. And shout out to your mentor for giving you that inspiration, that audacity. Hey, go ahead and take the test right now because you said you're going to wait 6 months. She said, nah, go take it right now. And look what happened. You passed it on the first try.
So on the first try.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. So of course, we all know in 2020, pandemic popped off, and I know you founded the company in 2015, and you got incorporated in 2021. So even in the midst of that, I'm sure you were still doing business and working with clients. How did you manage to pivot and stay afloat in business during the pandemic that popped off in 2020?
Pandemic, we were basically, I would say, almost our adolescent years with, of the business were coming up through the pandemic. And for some reason, of course, everybody was at home, everybody's stuck inside. And so more than ever, indoor comfort was in high demand. So as an indoor comfort specialist, we had a very prosperous time during from residential work to commercial work, even though, of course, a lot of people are staying at home, but still Walmart's, because, of course, we do refrigeration and ice machines and coolers and things like that. So, of course, Walmart, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, we were just kind of starting to reel in some commercial clients at that time. And, of course, they stayed churning through the pandemic. So I would definitely say we were blessed to not have suffered at all. We actually prospered during the pandemic. It was a great time for us.
Good stuff, man. Hey, that's makes perfect sense. Cause to your point, we was all at home and that that just needing that in-home comfort. And hey, you were in the right business at the right time, prospering. It sounds like to me. That's great.
Yeah, we were and of course, the George Floyd thing happened, and just
Right.
more cultural awareness about spending black and buying black, and just it was just a great time for us.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's great, man. So that's good that you were able to not only pivot and stay afloat, you all were able to flourish during the pandemic, and that's great. And here, here y'all are today. Here y'all are today, still rocking and rolling.
Most definitely. It's been great. It's been great. It's a
Yes, sir.
blessing.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely, no doubt. So of course, HVAC, a vitally important commodity to us all, and I mean, it's just hey, we all need it, whether it's like you said, residential, commercial. So, what do you appreciate the most about the work you do in this field?
I would definitely say it's nice being able to wake up every day and be able to help people, whether it's our team members or it's our customers. We're always able to kind of, in a way, build community. Definitely problems. Of course, our customers, they call us with problems. If you want to condense it and summarize as much as possible, our customers call us with a problem and we come out and solve it. And it's very rewarding because sometimes, it's an emergency. Sometimes it's an elderly person who, due to their medication, they can't be hot, or it's an infant due to whatever reasons they can't be hot, or it's a restaurant owner who has $10,000 worth of merchandise in his freezer and it's 10 p.m. and he needs it fixed tonight. So it's just always nice to be able to help people solve their problem.
Yes, sir. That's a mindset to have, man, and that's really as I As years have passed by, just learning more and more about business, entrepreneurship, like that's really the basics of being in business to solve problems and your ability to solve problems and the level you solve them at, that determine how well you do in business. So that's great that you get a chance to serve the community and solve problems because HVAC, that's a must. It ain't no option. It's a must for us all.
Yeah, no, without without a doubt.
Yes, yes, sir. Absolutely. So you've been a full-time entrepreneur. You being your own boss, calling your own shots. I mean, I know you got a lot on your plate, being the founder, the owner of this company. So what do you do in your free time to decompress and get away from work?
Well, I definitely like to camp, like just the outdoors in general, right? So nature, plants, animals. I really like to hike. I garden, so I try to grow a lot of organic heirloom vegetables. I do bonsai, that Japanese art form with the trees, like in Karate Kid. And so, yeah, my main passion, I would definitely say, is the great outdoors. I love to be outside. I love to hike. I love to go see our natural treasures like waterfalls and rivers, beaches, mountains, valleys. And yeah, I would definitely say that hiking, being outside, being in nature, being where it's very quiet and very still, and just being able to take in those beautiful vistas, that is definitely the way that I decompress.
Man, that's great that you do have those avenues to decompress and getting out in nature. And like you said, and it's very spot on when you say that, like getting out in nature is very quiet. It's peaceful, serene, especially if you turn your phone off, man, you can really just think and just unplug and unwind and disconnect, man, because you know it and I know it. Like this digital era, we're constantly connected and distracted.
Yeah, I definitely think yeah, with so much access to so much stuff, and I definitely a lot of younger people doing it. It's like they're for majority of the day, they distract themselves with screens, whether it's a cell phone, a TV, a video game, whatever it is, just constantly distracted. And it's hard to focus and try to improve yourself and your life when you're always distracted by some foolish video on YouTube or some show on Netflix. And so I definitely highly recommend, man, put the screens down.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. For sure. So, as it relates to all the different counties you serve in Alabama and all the different areas that you serve, so what would you say your highest frequency of work is in? Is it in Montgomery County or is it elsewhere?
Yeah, definitely. The bulk of our work is right here in Montgomery. Definitely inside of the river region, predominantly here in the city of Montgomery. We have several commercial clients that kind of send us all over the state. But majority, the bulk of our work is here in Montgomery and the surrounding counties.
Okay, awesome stuff, man. That's good, man. And pretty sure you all just gonna continue to grow and expand. So that's great that you're doing the bulk of the business here in Montgomery County and serving the community.
Yeah, without a doubt. We've got plans on trying to move up to the Birmingham area, maybe here in a year or so. But yes, sir, we're rocking and rolling here in the river region.
Okay, sounds good. And that actually transitions right into my next portion perfectly. So, as it relates to short-term and long-term goals, your overall vision for the company, aside from, of course, expanding into more areas, is there any other goals you have for the company you feel comfortable sharing?
Let's see. We definitely want to expand. We definitely want to expand. We're trying to hit $1 million in annual revenue, hopefully this year. So that's a goal for us. We definitely want to move a little bit more toward North Alabama, so like the Birmingham, Vestavia Hills, Hoover, Homewood area. That's next, or Phoenix City. We haven't decided yet. We're either going to do the up in the Birmingham area or the Phoenix City, Columbus, Georgia area, whichever one makes more sense. We need to do a bit more market analysis, but yes, sir. Yeah, hit $1 million annual and expand to expand either east or north. Those are our two midterm goals.
Okay, sounds good to me. And hey, those are great goals, midterm goals, and I have no doubt you all put in the work and make it happen.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
It's only a matter of time.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, for sure. So as we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask $1 million question. I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, William, I got to ask you, being a hometown hero, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
Hmm. Well, Montgomery, I definitely will say, has, it has been the cradle of our business and it's definitely fostered all of our growth, right? So we'll always be thankful to Montgomery and its residents for all of the support. As for me growing up here, of course, there's a lot of history, a lot of civil rights stuff. So that's really great. But I would definitely say my favorite part of Montgomery is the community. It's the people. That's what makes a city, and of course, that's what makes it so beautiful and unique, all of the people. So, without a doubt, I would say all of our beautiful people here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, William, how can people connect with you? What are your social media handles and website?
Yeah, let's see. Our website is Alabama's Best, HVAC.com. Our phone number is 334-314-3534. And you can also find us on Facebook. And our tag is Alabama's Best HVAC.
Yes, sir. Too easy. And of course, I'll put all of that information in the description of the episode. Hey, William, thanks again for the conversation, man. I really appreciate you.
No problem, man. It was a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you.